3 days from the NFL draft, and we have a developing story this morning. The entire crew is here, but Adam Schefter, I'm starting with you. Your column is up this morning, and among the things in it, and the one getting the most attention right now on social media, is the very latest on A.J. Brown. What does everybody need to know?
Greeny, the two sides are tracking to make a deal happen post-June 1st. So that is the situation between the Patriots and the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. The two sides have not committed to a deal, but they are likely to make that happen post-June 1. A.J. Brown would like to be traded. The Philadelphia Eagles are open to trading him. The New England Patriots have wanted him all along. It's hard to see another team jumping in, but you never know what could happen over the course of the next 5 or 6 weeks. But there is that relationship that exists between the Patriots head coach, Mike Vrabel, and A.J. Brown. And now it'll be interesting to see if the Philadelphia Eagles would look to address the wide receiver position in the draft this week, or whether they feel it's sufficient to have gone out and signed Elijah Moore, Hollywood Brown, and traded for Dontavian Wicks. Patriots also have to figure that the overwhelming chances are they're going to be getting a wide receiver, a big-time wide receiver, after June 1st. We'll see how that factors into their thinking going into the draft. And one other note about the Eagles here. That may just be the start for the Eagles. Because A.J. Brown, obviously, is waiting to happen. But the Eagles always have a trick or two up their sleeve. Now, they had spoken to the Vikings about Jonathan Grenard, the pass rusher. Those talks have lost steam. I'm not so sure that trade is going to happen. But I think there are a handful of other scenarios that the Eagles have in mind, and it wouldn't be surprising to see them pull off another trade outside the A.J. Brown trade that will not happen this week and until June 1st, heading into the draft this week.
So I'm clear, are we talking about draft stuff here, or active players, or some combination of the two? What do we know, and what can you tell us?
Well, I think the Eagles are always looking to move up and down the draft board, but I think there are certain veteran players out there that they're always scouring for. There are a list of players available out there this week that other teams are all looking at. I'm just saying the Eagles never sit back and wait, and I don't expect that they'll do that this week either.
A.J. Brown's going to get traded to New England, says Schefter, most likely. Again, these are things that we're anticipating. Dan, you're laughing. What is your reaction?
Not surprising. This has been for 8 months now, like A.J. wants out. I think from the Patriots' perspective, A.J. Brown walking first down. He's a walking first down. I think in the last 3 years, only Jamar Chase has more first downs receiving than A.J. Brown. So Drake May right now, let's go win, coming off of a great year too. I'm a little bit more the Philly side of things, saying that at least Schefter thinks there's maybe more up their sleeves. I think Philly's going to draft a tight end relatively early in this draft. Sean Mannion, new offensive coordinator. They're not going to play with 3 wide receivers on the field anymore. They're not going to replace A.J. Brown with another receiver. I fully expect them to go back in time, play like the Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, 2 tight ends. But what's the move that Schefter's kind of intimating at? I know is it Max Crosby? Is Max Crosby the move? Jonathan Grenard, those talks have stalled. There's obvious want for pass rush.
If you're talking tight end, Kyle Pitts is a player that's available. I think a lot of people think in Atlanta. So I think the point Schefter's making is the Eagles are always up for a trade, right? Like no matter what, they all avenues to improve their roster. So if they have some sense of what they're getting back for A.J. Brown in terms of 2027 draft picks, I think that enables them to maneuver in a lot of different ways, because they may be able to include picks in next year's draft that they already have.
And the A.J. Brown part of it, for me, is what I'm focused on, and what the impact is going to be for him potentially in New England, this post-June trade, if it happens. You look at the season Drake May had. For New England, all we've talked about after last year was how much more difficult the schedule is going to be for them and how hard it's going to be to get back to where they were. Drake May has a season that he had last year. Now, if you're the front office of New England, you're saying, hey, let's go get this dude everything we can to help him win right now. A guy like A.J. Brown in the Super Bowl, they couldn't get open on the outside. You insert him within that offense. Now you have a guy who is a matchup problem. So I'm excited if he does end up in that New England Patriots jersey, what he can do for Drake May.
I just want to make sure everybody knows, who may not know automatically, post June 1st and why.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Because
Explain that.
He's got about a $40 million salary cap hit if he's traded, dead money cap hit on their cap. If they wait until after June 1st, they can split that cap hit up over this year and next year. You see it with post-June 1st releases that can be announced in March. A post-June 1st trade actually has to wait until after June 1st to be consummated. Yes, you can't designate someone a post-June 1st trade.
Yeah, because things could happen on one side or the other that dictates that the other team can't do it. Here's what if I'm a fan of the Patriots this morning, here's what I feel best about. That my franchise, the people running my franchise, recognize that we're not there. Like, this is a team, I'm not in any way suggesting that they were a fluke last year, but they got great good fortune.
Yeah.
They played 2 playoff games. One of them was against Houston at home in terrible weather, and the quarterback in Houston played maybe the worst game that you've ever seen in the history of the NFL playoffs. And then you played Denver without their quarterback because he did whatever he did to his ankle on the last play or whatever it was the previous week, and then you get shellacked in the Super Bowl. This is not to suggest they're not that good. It is to suggest that they needed to get better, and this makes them much better, right? A.J. Brown, who has been under or ill-utilized in Philadelphia the last few years, I think is an enormous acquisition for the Patriots.
Unrealistic results last year for New England, and they realized that they weren't to where they were supposed to be when it comes to being in the Super Bowl. And now when you talk about this offense, Josh McDaniels, if this trade actually goes through post-June, I would expect it to. This is an offense that's loaded now. There are not that many guys in this, you know it better than I, in this league that you can just go line up by yourself and go win. And A.J. Brown is one of those guys. Whatever you think about him in his production of last year, he is one of those players. Just 37 first downs since 2003. Only Jamar Chase has more. So Drake May last year did not have a person they can put up by himself and say, go win. They now will if this trade happens. That is a massive addition. And then you're talking about, do the New England Patriots, as an offensive skill group, get in the conversation with the Cincinnati Bengals when it comes to the plethora of weapons now?
Shefty, go.
Listen, you don't get to this point, talking to teams about a potential A.J. Brown trade. They were talking to the Rams at one point. It didn't happen. They obviously have spoken at length to the Patriots. Both sides have not committed to it, but it's too far down the line for this not to happen. Do you think the trade is not going to go through eventually on June 1st once they can commit to it? Of course it will, because they can't allow it, all this talk to happen, and then say to A.J. Brown, oh, we're very sorry. The talks with the Patriots fizzled out at the last moment. It didn't happen. You're coming back to Philadelphia. It's not practical. It's not realistic. We all have to operate now as if A.J. Brown is going to be dealt to the New England Patriots.
Yes, I realized that the moment you sent me the column yesterday, and I read it. That's when it was all over for me. A.J. Brown is going to the Patriots. Again, it's been posted this morning, and the happiest man is the man arriving at their offseason program. We had a little video of it. We got Drake May showing up. He will be the happiest man in town, because there's nothing friendlier for a quarterback than that huge target on the outside who, as Dan just said, is a walking first down. So